What's up, space pirates? This is your admiral, the Dread Pirate Dr. Disaster. And you know, someday, if there's ever a nuclear war, they say there are only 3 things that will survive: cockroaches, Twinkies, and the spirit of gaming journalists as they shill pretty much everything that AAA studios put out while being dead-ass wrong.
This is the song that doesn't end.
Yeah, that shit never ends, but it sure does get old. Dragon Age the Veilguard deserves to be held up as the shining example in this department. I mean, look at headlines like this one here from several months ago. These people absolutely tried to push this slop on us in the same way that now, as you can see here, they're trying to push Assassin's Creed Shadows onto us. And they will try to push everything else from their corporate masters as well. Now, considering my audience, I know I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but never forget that it was independent content creators who told you the Veilguard would flop, and we were categorically correct. Look at the price of this game at GameStop right now.
Oh shit.
For cripe's sake, the game is still just under 3 months old, and you can buy that thing for a song. Just for comparison's sake, if you wanted to buy Space Marine 2 at GameStop, a game that's damn near 2 months older than Dragon Age, you'd still have to pay $65. Bioware and the game journos are so out of touch that now they have damn near ended Bioware as a studio, and as I'm sure many of you recall, that's something that independent content creators have been predicting as well, all while those game journalists just kept insisting that you listen to them because everything is fine.
Oh, you will listen to every damn word I have to say!
No, man.
Well, it looks like Bioware is being restructured, causing the loss of a shitload of jobs. The company is putting all its eggs into one basket now, the 5th Mass Effect title. But with all these layoffs and restructures, EA has seemingly stripped Bioware down to its bare bones. This leads most people to speculate that this Mass Effect title is the studio's last chance, and honestly, based on the lack of trust that they've cultivated with gamers over the past several years, I wouldn't be surprised if this game ends up DOA as well.
We are so screwed.
Alright me hearties, make sure you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also, don't forget to follow me on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. But let's dig into this news about Bioware restructuring and essentially putting all their eggs into the Mass Effect basket. This game will either bury them or save them. I don't see any middle ground being possible, not with the hole that they've dug themselves into. With their insistence on chasing after the modern audience. With all the LGBT stuff, they drove a ton of people away, and if the ship isn't turned around immediately on their next game, the studio is likely toast. But let's read about this situation here in this article from Insider Gaming. The article reads, in the latest Bioware update on the development of the next Mass Effect stage, the developer says it does not require support from the full studio, and has moved several employees to other teams at Electronic Arts. While the developer says it is reimagining how the company works, it still touts the leadership of veterans of the original trilogy. Following the release of Dragon Age the Veilguard, a core team at Bioware is hard at work on the next Mass Effect game, the company wrote in a blog post today. However, an unclear number of employees have been moved to other teams at EA that had open roles that were a strong fit. IGN has also reported that a small number of Dragon Age team members have had their roles terminated. Now, it sounds to me like EA is stripping the studio down to its bare bones, forcibly moving some developers to other places in EA and essentially ordering the studio to get back to basics. Bioware wants to spin this by saying, oh, well, this game just doesn't require the support of the full studio, but that sounds like cope to me. It sounds like EA no longer has faith in them after their stock tanked a week or so ago, partly due to Dragon Age's massive failure. It sounds to me like BioWare is no longer getting the big financial backing that they're used to. Now, you may recall that, once again, independent content creators called this shit ahead of time. This report from Smash JT came 2 weeks ago, breaking the story that not only was Corinne Bush, the game director of the Veilguard, leaving the company, a story that the Access Media wrote about afterwards but tried to claim credit for, but the report said that BioWare's Edmonton branch was being closed down and that a bunch of people were losing their jobs. And once again, it looks as though independent content creators were correct. But anyways, the article continues. In their post, BioWare highlighted members of the veteran leadership leading production on the next Mass Effect game. They got the manager and producer on Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, and Andromeda. They got the lead designer on the original trilogy. They got the cinematic animator for the original trilogy. And they got the art director for the original trilogy. But I don't know. After seeing the shit that this studio made with the Veilguard, you'll have to excuse me if seeing these names from the old games paraded in front of me doesn't exactly fill me with confidence in the direction of this new Mass Effect game. This is pandering. Though I will say this, at least if they're going to pander, I'd rather that it be to gamers instead of the modern audience. Clearly, they're trying to appeal to gamers who like the way that the old BioWare games were put together, which is why they're pointing out the fact that these developers were with the studio back when they made stuff that was appealing. That's at least a tiny ray of sunlight for gamers. It just doesn't move the needle for me personally, especially when you see how EA doesn't seem to be showing much faith in them. But anyway, many believe this next Mass Effect title is a make or break release for BioWare. Dragon Age the Veilguard went through a lengthy, turbulent development cycle, and despite some critical success, the 1.5 million copies sold was half of what Electronic Arts expected. Yeah, I guess it turns out that critical acclaim doesn't put food on the table. If you want to make money, maybe make stuff that we want and not LGBT vanity projects. But this, combined with EA Sports FC25 missing internal expectations, resulted in a massive 17% drop in EA stock value. Veilguard's game director Corinne Bush left the company earlier this month after 18 years with the company. So, to me it sounds like BioWare is trying their damnedest to put their best foot forward with Mass Effect 5, or whatever that's going to be called. They're supposedly, quote, reimagining how we work at BioWare, but it really seems like it's too little too late. On the one hand, I'd really like another Mass Effect experience that doesn't suck, but I've had my eyes on Exodus for that. That's a game that I talked about a month or so ago, being made by some former developers from BioWare, and it looks like I'm kind of a Mass Effect clone. It looks pretty good, so I don't see why I would need a new Mass Effect game. I've already got that covered. Unless Mass Effect 5 is really special, and I mean really special, it seems highly unlikely that I'll ever play it. With the way that they've been operating, BioWare has a lot of work to do to ever get me to want to support anything that they ever do again. But I'm going to leave it there. What are your thoughts on Mass Effect 5? Can you see any path they could take where they would earn back your business? Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.